Welcome to the Maple Grove City Report. I'm Dave Kaiser from CCX Media. Along with me, Heidi Nelson, Maple Grove City Administrator. Welcome once again.
Thank you.
We have a July 19th meeting to talk about an hour and a half in length. A couple main items we'll touch on. But before we get to the meeting, a little different format today because of something very important, the watering and the drought conditions.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what the city is thinking. I know it was brought up a couple times at the council meeting.
Yep.
Give us a quick overview of what residents need to know.
Yeah, so along with every other city really in the state of Minnesota, we received notice from the Minnesota DNR that they're entering into the drought warning phase, which brings about recommendations about implementing watering restrictions and just reducing use of water overall. So we went ahead and yesterday put out information to implement watering restrictions. So what we're asking folks to do is not water between the hours of 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. at all, and then follow the odd-even format. So if your home, your house number, your address number, whether you're a commercial property or residential property ends in an odd number, you can water on the odd days. Even, you can water on the even days. You know, some questions out there about how about if I have new sod, that kind of a thing. You know, there's some, you know, whether it's a new home or, you know, we have at our transit station, we just did some work there and we have some new sod there. So if you have a new sod situation, give a call up to our engineering department and they can talk with you and we'll do an exception for new sod.
Great.
We want to respect that investment. And then, you know, some questions about can I water my flowers by hand? And of course, yes, you know, that's the piece that is fine. I think what we're really trying to cut back on is that irrigation piece, which is a big consumer of water during the summer months in Maple Grove and in every city. And so you'll see information out from, I think, pretty much every city. Minneapolis and St. Paul put out information this morning, which they don't do that very often. So I think we're just being consistent with most cities in the metro area. And then just a couple notes, we have a lot of irrigation systems at the city and we are working very quickly to get those systems programmed, the change to those programs. So bear with us for a day here. We understand, you know, we just got to get these notices out and get people paying attention and changing their own systems, you know, updating those schedules, that kind of a thing. And we've got a lot of irrigation systems to deal with. So if you see a city property being irrigated, we're working on it and we're going to get to all of them just as quickly as we can. We got a few calls yesterday about that. So I think, you know, we're going to be here for a while until this weather pattern changes where we would get, you know, enough significant rain to change the direction of this drought, but doesn't look like that's coming in the 15-day forecast. So if you have any questions, of course, just give a call up to City Hall, talk to the engineering department, and we can work through any special situations that you might have.
Washing cars is even a basic thing too that people need to just be aware of and maybe let that car go a few extra days or extra week. Yeah,
just asking people to, you know, avoid washing a vehicle in your driveway, that kind of thing. You know, and just in general, you know, if there's ways you can cut back on water usage right now, we're just really encouraging people to do that and really kind of think about it before you use excessive amounts of water.
Is Maple Grove in any different situation because you're a supplier of water to other cities? How does that work?
Yeah, well, the same restrictions will apply. You know, we supply water to Osseo and then some parts of Dayton as well as Corcoran, and so you know, notice has gone to them as well that they'll need to implement those restrictions for those areas that are served by Maple Grove. So we'll continue to serve, but we just ask them to honor the same restrictions as well.
Very good. All right. Again, we thought that was important to get out first. It was touched on during engineering in the meeting itself and in our other notes at the end of the meeting, but we thought we'd get it right out in front. So again, hour and a half meeting on the 19th to talk about some other updates from the city coming up in just a few minutes. From the meeting on the 19th, a few major items. One item pulled from consent that had to do with a very nice donation. Who was the donator? Yeah, so Mills Fleet Farm did a kind of a roundup program at the checkout there for a donation to Pups, which is our pet impound facility in Maple Grove that we manage, and so they were able to collect almost $3,800 for Pups, so that was a great donation. We're very grateful for Mills Fleet Farm doing that. Congratulations to them. Great presentation at the meeting, very timely here from Three Rivers Park District, with a lot of people out using the parks and waterways this summer.
Yeah.
What did they have to say? What's new in the park system?
Yeah, so our commissioner here for this district, Commissioner Jennifer DeJarnette, and then Superintendent Bo Carlson, were out to talk about the Three Rivers Park District system, and in particular the various park facilities here in Maple Grove, and give us some updates on some improvement projects that they've been doing throughout the district. So it's always nice to get an update from the park district.
And they also have a 2040 plan, as many cities do as well, looking ahead planning, so you might want to go to their website to find out more. Next up, the police or the fire chief coming up, talking about a retirement, another one in a line of retirements we've talked about. Tell us a little bit about this special person.
Yeah, so this was Captain Tom Kropatis retiring from the fire department, almost 36 years of service. He joined the department in 1985, so he's been with us for a very long time, and that's a lot of dedication on behalf of his family and his own service to the community. So we're grateful to Captain Kropatis for his service, and we wish him all the best in his retirement, and the council had an opportunity to thank him as well.
Very, very nice. Public hearings on the night. First one had to deal with a Loom, and this is a little bit related to COVID, I understand. Tell us a little bit about what had to be done in this grant process. Yeah,
so a Loom Corporation, which is just along Elm Creek Boulevard there in the first phase of the Arbor Lakes Business Park, had received a Minnesota Investment Fund loan from DEED, which comes along with it is some job requirements. Loom was a company, they make candles and other home good type things, so they were deemed non-essential during the initial part of the pandemic. So a lot of impact to their business as well as to their jobs. So many people were laid off, that kind of a thing. So they have, they're coming back and they're feeling good about coming back, but needed a little bit more time to meet the jobs requirements of that Minnesota Investment Fund loan. So DEED, of course, has been flexible in working with businesses, understanding that this has been, difficult times. So they've given them another year to meet those jobs requirements.
Very good. Other public hearing on Edgewater on Cook Lake. This is a single-family rental project we've talked about a few times. Where are we now in the process?
Yeah, so this is part of the process to develop the plans and specs for the sewer, water, the street improvements out there, and so this will come back and go out for bid. This is Edgewater on Cook Lake. It's, as you mentioned, the single-family rental project that's just to the west of Lord of Life there, but these road improvements and utility improvements make some connections up to the residential development to the north, and then out to the edge of Corcoran, and then connect back over where the Havenwood project is there to the east. So some pretty big connections out there.
All right, we'll keep you up to date as that project moves along. Another one we've talked about a few times is TriCare 4th edition, and this is more business related. What is happening in this area?
Yeah, so this is the area kind of up behind Menards, and we had Desi Brothers Farmers Market in front of us a few weeks ago for their land use approvals, and that's really that new Indian grocery store up there. So this extends water and sewer and street improvements to the north up there. Covers several lots that will be open now for development, so we do anticipate other development up in that area in the future years, but this will accommodate that development of that new grocery store up there.
Next item was the longest item of the evening. It was liquor violations. A compliance check took place in the middle of June, and 6 businesses failed that check. Give us a little background on, again, the process of the checks and a little bit about the process in the evening. Yeah,
so as a matter of routine business, our police department goes out twice a year and does compliance checks with our liquor license holders, both on sale and off sale, full license holders as well as our wine and beer license holders. And so, it's part of our program. Not only do we go out and do compliance checks, but we also offer and encourage all of our businesses to attend our alcohol compliance training that we offer free of charge to our businesses. So this is an issue that's really important to our city council, important to the community, to make sure that we're doing proper ID checks and that we're complying with liquor laws as we're selling alcohol in the community. So we did have 6 failures here, so that was always a disappointment, and the council has to walk through each one of these. And so the 6 failures were Maple Tavern, Ichido Ramen, Grill Hall Brazilian Steakhouse, Bonchon Chicken, Princeton's Liquor, which is off sale, and then Portillo's. For Maple Tavern, this was their second violation within a 3-year period, so they were in front of the council this past March for a violation that occurred in November that was really not about a compliance check, but other liquor license violations that had occurred on the premise. And so the others were first-time violations within a 3-year period. So council held to the code here in terms of the suspension and the fines that were levied for these failures. And so they'll be moving forward, and we usually do those suspension dates come out like the week. They'll come back to the council August 2nd, and then it's the following week. So
okay.
We'll continue to work with our businesses, making sure they're getting their employees out to our training, and they understand that, you know, we do get out routinely and do these compliance checks. I think the concern is, you know, it happened when we were there, so how many times has it happened when we weren't there?
Sure.
And that's really an important thing to the community, to make sure that you know, we're not selling alcohol to minors in Maple Grove.
All right. Move on to community development, some updates of things that are coming up. They have been quiet for a while here with no planning commission meetings, but there's a big one on the 26th. Give us a look at some of the things that are coming up, which will make their way to the council then as well. Yeah,
we'll have a busy August with development business. So July 26th planning commission meeting, back in person, fully in the chambers. Some developments coming forward. Crocus Grove, which is that development kind of up on the Dayton Maple Grove border, which is access through Dayton, kind of a continuation of that subdivision up there. About 50 single family lots, Crocus Grove. Cub Wine and Spirits, they were in front of us, of course, for an off-sale liquor license a few weeks ago. So this is kind of the development piece of it. This will be out in the parking lot, in kind of at the edge of the road there in front of Cub Foods. XL Energy is making some changes to their substation up there off of 99th. REO Plastics, which is located off of County Road 81 and County Road 30 there. They have acquired a lot next to them, and they're looking to do some expansion up there. And this one abuts a residential neighborhood, so we're paying particular attention to kind of some berming and landscaping between those residential properties and this long-standing commercial use. Northwood Church is back up on 105th with their church proposal, so that's kind of exciting to see. And then along with that, Northwood Townhomes is coming forward, and that's a Lennar project. If you recall, they were in front of us, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, and they had kind of a more intense land use plan there with some apartments and townhomes, and I think the feedback from the council was it was a little too dense for that area, so they came back with an alternative townhome proposal. So it'll be a busy planning commission and then city council in August. All
right, next up we've got quite a few grand openings, so good to see a lot of business activity happening in the community. Tell us about some of the events and some of the businesses that are on the docket as well.
Yeah, so we were out at the New Creations Daycare out at 101 and Bass Lake Road for celebrating their grand opening yesterday afternoon. And then AbleCon, which is a tenant in the Arbor Lakes Corporate Center there on the corner of 85th and Zachary. They'll be doing a grand opening on July 29th at 10 a.m. They're an electrical and defense contractor there, great new addition to Maple Grove. And then we just see a lot of our vacant spaces being leased up and being repurposed, and that's so really good to see. So Phoenix Salon, they're going into the former Pier 1 space. At Home is going into the JCPenney space, and so we worried a lot about our vacancies and what would happen post-pandemic, but we're really seeing a lot of these spaces being leased up, and that's great to see.
So a busy meeting on the 26th for the Planning Commission, and again a lot of that information coming to the council, and we'll keep you up to date on that. Next update was from Public Works and Engineering, and we talked a little bit about the water restrictions. A lot of time spent during the council meeting discussing that, but also discussing I-94. How are we doing? How are the ramps out there these days?
Well, Weaver is closed. If you're trying to go westbound 94 from Weaver, that entry ramp is closed, and pretty impactful out there on Weaver. So if you can avoid that area, not a bad idea. Once they finish up at Weaver, they'll move up to the Parkway, to the Maple Grove Parkway access ramp there. So yeah, we're moving along. Just another reminder, and I've seen coverage on it, on the metro area news as well, is just really asking people to slow down out there on the corridor. Representative Mindot gave the example, if you were sitting at your desk and a car flew by at 70 miles an hour, how that would feel. And for these folks that are working out there on the corridor, that's kind of their reality. And so we just really ask folks to slow down, give them some space, really put put the phone away. We're seeing a lot of phones out there on the highway, and just really monitor what you're doing, in particular during these construction zones.
Good points. Final update from a meeting on the 19th was your updates, and believe it or not, we're talking budgets already?
Yeah, well, we've been into the budget since early June at a staff level, and so we have 2 budget work sessions planned with the council on August 2nd and August 16th. Lots to work through here for the 2022 budget, and so we'll look to, we always try to set that, we have to set the preliminary levy by the end of September, but we like to give ourselves some flexibility in September, just if council wants to come back on anything, but we'll probably bring that forward at the first meeting in September, and then we always have that second meeting in September to come back and get that done. But yeah, 2 work sessions coming up here for the August meeting dates.
Very good. And your final note was about a big day for people to put on their calendar. That is Tuesday, August 3rd for National Night Out. Tell us a little bit about what happens at the government center or at the community center, and then what you encourage people to do out in the community. Yeah,
so National Night Out is back, and I heard yesterday we already have like 180 parties signed up, so I think people are eager to get out in their neighborhoods. So Tuesday, August 3rd, the main part of the event, of course, is in the evening, where the neighborhoods get together, and then we send around our different groups of, police, fire, and elected officials, city staff, that kind of a thing, community members. So it's always a great evening to be out connecting with our neighbors. And then the kickoff party is back at the community center from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. during the day. Public safety related activities, personnel vehicles, and great things for the kids that day. So we encourage people to come out to the kickoff event as well.
All right, go to the city's website if you need more information about the kickoff or about the parties themselves out in your neighborhood. So that's it from the meeting on the 19th. We'll talk more about the upcoming meeting in just a few minutes, but let's talk about some other things happening in the city. And of course, in mid-July, we just had Maple Grove Days. So a lot of people out in the community. What's your recap of Maple Grove Days and what you saw throughout those 4 or 5 days?
Yeah, I think it went really well. Yes. Despite the need for rain and the drought, great weather, of course, for community celebrations. So congratulations to MGCO, their new leadership, Brandon Vreeman, Bree Bolden. So we're really happy for how things turned out this year. There was a lot of, questions in the beginning back in, March, April timeframe about the parade and what the event would look like and how do you plan, kind of in the blind of not knowing where things would be come July. But this kind of felt like a normal Maple Grove Day. So it was good. Big attendance at the parade. And so I think Saturday was a success, large attendance, and the fireworks were great. So congrats to MGCO on a great Maple Grove Days.
Yeah. Many volunteers make that happen. One other thing that they work on is the ambassador program, and we have some new ambassadors represent the city.
We do. We were able to thank Ella and Grace for their 2-year stint as ambassadors and send them on their way.
You bet.
And then our new crowned ambassadors are Gabby Bodine, Rachel Liu, and Taylor McGowan. So we'll get to know these young women over this coming year as they serve as Maple Grove ambassadors.
All right. Big event again, and if you're interested in volunteering in the future, MGCO always looking for people to help out. It's not too early to start thinking about next year's Maple Grove Days photo contest. Let's talk a little bit about that opportunity and its recent closure. How did we do on numbers?
Yeah, so photo contest closed on July 13th. 168 residents participated and 349 photos were submitted. So the photographs are being processed for placement on the city website, and then judging of the entries will take place in mid-August, and then we acknowledge those recipients of those awards coming up in September. So great to have that participation in the photo contest this year.
Thanks for everyone turning out and doing that. We mentioned groundbreakings coming up. We had one that happened just recently related to the world of fitness. Where is this new business?
Yeah, so this is Crunch Fitness, and this is up between Target and Slumberland, and so they're already turning dirt up there, and they're looking to plan to be open at the beginning of 2022. This is their second location in Minnesota. They have one location already in Blaine, Minnesota.
We talk often about hydrants in the winter and clearing around them, but a little reminder about the hydrants during the summer months as well, just to keep them clear. How can residents help out?
Yeah, so oftentimes we see a lot of landscaping or things being placed in around those hydrant areas. So we just really encourage residents to keep those hydrants clear of any decorative plants, overgrown trees, shrubs, or any large boulders, mailboxes, those kinds of things. It's really important for our fire crews to be able to quickly access those hydrants when they get on the fire scene. So if you can kind of think about that when you're thinking about what you're doing at that street edge, the number one important thing is access to that hydrant.
Makes sense. A lot of people out looking to swim and keep cool during these hot days. What are some of the locations they can do that, and how have things been going there? Yeah,
so Community Center outdoor pool is open through Labor Day, and then we do the wristbands for that outdoor pool. Children under 42 inches must have an adult with them within arm's reach. And then on Wilds Wednesdays, there's an all-day discounted admission to the outdoor indoor pools, and they have all kinds of special games for kids that day as well.
Fantastic. All right, and lots of places to go out there and have some fun. Let's talk a little bit about the farmers market and what's going on. I wonder how the produce is doing there. If things are early or maybe a little limited, but still a great place to shop, and they mentioned even barbecues and picnics.
Yeah, so it has been a little bit tough on the produce. I think things have been a little bit later, and then probably not as plentiful in areas where they haven't been able to irrigate. But farmers market still continuing from 3 to 7 every Thursday through October 21st. We'll brief up those hours as we get into the fall months. But yeah, lots of great things for the farmers market as we go into the later summer months here.
Yeah, stop by and take a look there. The Town Green busy as always, especially during the summer. Tell us about, again, some of the key dates to be out there to catch some music or some entertainment.
Yeah, so evening music performances are Monday and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and then the kid family entertainment is Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. and now we get into the movies at sunset, starting Fridays starting at dusk. So lots of summer left at Town Green.
You bet, and again was a key spot during Maple Grove Days for a lot of activities. Also coming up, this is September time frame, so get it on your calendar early, is the Concert on the Lawn. Again, tell us about this event, the thought behind it, who the big partner is as well.
Yeah, so the Maple Grove Lions is leading on this event. Concert on the Lawn dates are Friday, September 17th and Saturday, September 18th. Friday night is a country music night, and then on Saturday night, more of a rock theme with Soul Asylum being the main band that night. So tickets are on sale on the Maple Grove Lions website to purchase tickets, and so we just encourage people to get out. They do have if you buy both nights, a special deal to have both night tickets, so it'll be a great event.
Yeah, keep your calendar clear for those dates. So that's a look at what happened on the 19th and some of the things happening in the city. Heidi, thanks once again for your time. Next meeting is on August 2nd. We'll give you a little information about that date. August 2nd, 7:30 at the Government Center is the next meeting date. Phone number at the bottom of the screen, and again in the middle, maplegrovemn.gov. A lot of information about some of the events we talked about. National Night Out, some of those restrictions on some of the roads, and certainly a lot of information about the water restrictions now, so make sure you go to the website to find out more. For Heidi Nelson, I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us on the Maple Grove City Report.